Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. Happy Friday. It's Casual Friday here. And boy, do we have a very special guest for you in the house tonight. As I always say, don't say we don't do nice things for you, squaddies. Here we go. Good evening to everyone this fine Friday evening, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by a very special guest. Been waiting to speak to him for some time now, and he's going to correct me if I mispronounce his last name. But welcome to the show from Arsenal, Denmark, Mr. Christian Stenrøjl. How'd I do,
Thank
Christian?
you so much. You did exceptionally well, I thought.
Excellent. Welcome to the show. How's life in Denmark right now? What's going on this fine Friday evening? I love how it's so bright out in Scandinavia at this time of year and beyond. It's just so wonderful. What a great place to live.
Yeah, it's brilliant, especially now with the long summer nights, and because in the winter it gets pretty dark, it gets pretty cold. So it's not too bad right now.
Excellent. Now, before we get stuck into some Wales versus Denmark, I wanted people to kind of know your story, where you're from, why you love the Arsenal. We have a great listenership here in the UK, in the US, across the world, from countries like Uganda to India, to Morocco, France. It's just a wonderful, eclectic group that just love the club and support the club. But you are actually ingrained in an organization and one of the branches of the Arsenal in Denmark. Talk to me a little bit about your role, how you got involved. Let everyone know your story, Christian.
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, my association with Arsenal goes all the way back to when I was, I think, 7 or 8 years old. My father is an Arsenal fan. He's been an Arsenal fan for 50 years, so it came kind of natural to support the Arsenal. And then from a very young age, I got introduced as a member into Arsenal Denmark, which is an organization, one of the official branches of Arsenal FC. Mm-hmm. We have currently 2,400 members, and in a small country like Denmark with only 5.5 million people, that's pretty good, I would say. And I've gone from being a regular member to being on the board for the past 2 years. So that's a great honor, and we do a lot of great work, I think. For example, we are represented in the Arsenal Fans Forum with one of our members, and have a very good opportunity to speak directly to Arsenal FC about some of the things that concern us as Arsenal fans.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's I think that's a very good position to be in.
Yeah. So give us a sense, because I live here in the United States. I'm obviously from England. I go back as often as I can to watch the team. There's a branch here, Arsenal America, that also work very closely with the club and stuff. What is it that when you interact with the club, what kind of stuff are you talking about? What's happening? Like, are you looking for the team to kind of travel to Denmark? Is it just by association? You're trying to help different, whether it's schools or kids or, so talk to me about that a little bit. What does it mean when you're Arsenal Denmark? What is it you actually do, and how you're connected with the club on a day-to-day level?
Sure. So our most important objective is to create a special Arsenal connection with our members. So, as a good example of that is when we had our General Assembly in 2019, just before COVID hit. We had our president, who happens to be some guy named Tony Adams, who
Oh,
who
I think we
came.
may have heard of him.
Yeah, it rings a bell. Who came to our January assembly, and we had about 400 people
Wow.
to hear him speak, and that's the kind of thing that's our primary concern, to create special Arsenal moments with our members. And when the situation allows it, we organize tickets and trips to London, sometimes 5, 6, 7 times a year. Personally, I've been to either Highbury or the Emirates twice a year since 2005, and that's of course the it's a benefit of being geographically so close to England, that it's a 1.5 hour flight, so we can send our members to Emirates on a regular basis.
It's very cool, and I love that you get to be associated here with legends, from legends like Tony Adams, and there's definitely a fantastic support group down there in Denmark. I don't know if you can see this note at the bottom from Daniel Anderson. I have no idea what it means or what it says. What does that mean, Christian?
Well, first of all, hi Daniel, og tak for det. Det er jeg rigtig glad for. It means that he is looking forward to hearing some more about me. So that's very nice.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very, very nice. I love that. Okay. Very cool. Let's talk a little bit about who's involved. So obviously there's a couple of players that are very well known, Danes who have played for the Arsenal, and already some people in chat are asking about Jon Jensen, and of course there's Lord Bentner as well, who just literally retired from the game. Maybe Jensen, I think, is he involved with the group, Christian, or what's his involvement maybe still in terms of his association with the club and in Denmark?
First of all, he was actually also a guest at the General Assembly with Tony Adams.
Very nice.
At that time, he was a scout in Scandinavia for Arsenal.
For the club. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think during the great layoff of all the scouts recently, he was one of those who stopped working at Arsenal. But I know that he has a very strong association with Arsenal. It's not too long ago that we spoke with him, and he's as passionate an Arsenal fan as he has ever been.
Nice.
It's very clear that Arsenal left a great impression on him, and that it's the club where he really feels at home. Mm-hmm. So his association with Arsenal is still very strong.
Is he well respected in Denmark? Because there obviously there've been quite a few Danes who've played their craft in Europe and have done so well. Is Jensen still a well respected figure? You know, back in the day when he joined Arsenal, you know, Danish football was getting into its groove, wasn't it? And we're going to get on to talk about 92 and the Euros here in just a little bit. But is he someone who's still, you know, recognized and respected?
Yes, very much. First of all, as a player, of course, but also as a pundit and a coach, he is he's definitely one of the most prominent figures in the Danish football world. Mostly as a pundit now, but definitely also as a player. And of course, just by association and having that legendary part in the 92 championships was, and that goal he scored, I mean, he has engraved himself in the hearts of every Danish football fan.
You know, it's funny. I always say, like, the Greek team from 2004, if they appear anywhere in Greece for dinner, they never have to pay for a meal. I'm pretty sure
exactly.
that Jensen doesn't have to ever pay for a meal either as well.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What's the perception of Bentner? Obviously, he's been a bit of a bad boy. Maybe not a bad boy. I don't know if he's ever been a bad boy. Maybe a party boy. And he had so much talent. He seems to definitely be one of those players that, you know, that like, is it Marlon Brando? There's nothing worse than wasted talent. Is that what people think of Nicholas?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, a lot of people remember him primarily from a footballing sense, as a guy who did very well for the national team, and I think that's fair actually, because he did perform very well for the national team. Um, personally, I've never had too much against him.
Mhm.
He's obviously done some not too great things in his life, but I primarily remember him as a guy who scored almost 50 goals for Arsenal, and that's the guy he'll be for me always.
Yeah, and Aaron here is saying the header against Spurs alone
Yeah,
makes Nicholas a legend.
absolutely, absolutely.
Definitely. What is it you love the most about Arsenal? Because it's very difficult to be a fan these days. And I'd love to know what the Arsenal Denmark fans think, Christian, because it's been a difficult time. We had a terrible time in the Premier League. Losing the Europa League semi-final to Unai Emery wasn't easy either. What's the perception of the club there? Are you panicking as much as some of the supporters here in the US, in the UK, around the world? Are you a little bit more patient? Do you trust Arteta? What's the general temperature in the room where you are?
From an the official perception of the club, and from an Arsenal Denmark point of view, is that we try to rally people together and say this is exactly the time where we need to stand by the club, and
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that we can't express our concerns, because we have a voice within Arsenal FC, and we definitely use that voice to raise our concerns for the club and to let our voices be heard. But
Mm-hmm.
to our members, we always try to give try to rally people together. This is the time where we need to stand by the club, and the more that we support the club, I think the more chances we have of gaining success in the next couple of seasons. Because it's been a difficult time, but a lot of clubs have had difficult times across different time periods, and I firmly believe that we can get back. And I personally, I have a lot of faith in Arteta, and I know that that's not everybody's opinion, and I respect that. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, he can be the guy to take us forward.
Yeah. And also today, the great news about Kieran Tierney signing an extension to his contract. In a time where everyone's going nuts, Christian, about who he's signing. Lokonga, Ben White, why? Fekir, Buendia, we missed out on. We're losers. Even Aston Villa can sign Buendia. For me, this signing and tying Kieran down to a long contract, it's music to Arsenal fans' ears, isn't it? He's just a very special player who's, most of us think, a future Arsenal captain.
Absolutely, and I think that it's as important a signing as anything else we're going to make this summer. He would definitely have suitors if he was inclined to leave. But the fact that he has tied himself down to Arsenal for the next 4 or 5, is it a 5-year contract?
Yes.
I think that is a very important step in the right direction.
Yeah,
And it's a
for
show
sure.
of, it's a show of intent from Arsenal, but of Kieran Tierney as well.
Yeah. And the fact that he believes in the club, he's definitely someone who's inspired by Arteta. There's no doubt about that. And also, I think he knows that he can really he can be a leader at the club. And, he can maybe go to another club and be a part of something. But at Arsenal, he can be that something. And I think that's the big difference. This is interesting because I'm Greek, and sometimes there's sayings in Greek that either translate well to English or not. Henrik here saying, sorry in English, but funny that Christian is sent to the car by the family.
Yeah. I should say that I just came from having dinner with the rest of the Arsenal Denmark board, so I'm on my way home. Yeah.
I love it. And you've joined us in your car. We're not going to keep you too much longer. Guys, if you have any questions for Christian, lob them over. I'm going to shift gears now because and we're going to have you're going to come back on the show during next season. We're going to talk a lot about Arsenal. Right now, I think we just need to see what's going to happen this summer. Let some chips fall into place a little bit more, believe in and hope that we're going to do the right things. But what is the temperature like right now in Denmark with this team? What a time your country has had. These heroes. And I always say that, you know, becoming an athlete and playing at this elite level, there's a lot of us that wanted to be footballers, but we couldn't be footballers. And this team has been through quite the experience, from qualifying to getting to the tournament. Christian, can you just give us a sense before we go into the game against Wales? What is it like to be a fan of Denmark right now in your home country?
I mean, it's been absolutely outstanding the way that the Danish people have, stood together after the incident with Christian Eriksen, and I think there's a sense of optimism around the team that we haven't seen for, I think maybe ever. Around the Danish national team, and a lot of people are getting invested in it. I think that I really think that the Danish people come together around the national team in more than they do about anything else. And it's, you know, I'm really having a tough time to put it into words, because it's just such a wonderful thing to see and experience.
Yeah, I can't even imagine kind of what you guys went through as fans. We witnessing what we did, the whole world witnessing. I think everyone's second team right now is Denmark. Certainly for me, I'm rooting for you guys to beat Wales tomorrow. Some people are like, "Oh, how can you root for Denmark? It's you know, Wales is a home nation." Well, I remember what Wales did and how they celebrated when we lost to Iceland in the last Euros.
Yeah.
So I have very little sympathy for Wales right now. What's the take on momentum, and of course what happened with Christian Eriksen and the world coming together, the football world coming together out of something almost so horrific? Came a beautiful moment, which shows why it's called the beautiful game in those moments. What chance are Danish fans giving the team against Gareth Bale and the Welsh?
You know, I think the general opinion is that it's actually a pretty good draw. Wales is a good team, especially they have a very strong they have a very strong team. They have good individual players, but as a team, they're very good. They're very well organized. But I think Danes in general feel that it's maybe 55 to 45% in Denmark's favor. I think that defensively we've been extremely solid, and in my opinion, that's the way you win championships. You know, with Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Andreas Christensen, Simon Kjær, they're great players, great defensive players, and I really think they can stand up to the task.
Christian, what did you do when Christensen scored that screamer? I mean, he's not scored a goal like that before. Chelsea fans have definitely not seen that before. What? I mean, if that was Greece or England, I would have gone crazy. Yeah. I mean, what did you do when he scored that?
For me personally, it was really, really difficult, because I have a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old daughter, and they were both sleeping. They were sleeping on both sides of me, and I watched that goal, and I was finding it very hard to contain myself. But you know, what a moment, and I think pretty much every Danish football fan has watched that goal 40, 50 times since. It was an incredible moment, really.
Yeah. You know, in the absence of Eriksen, talk to me about this guy. I mean, he's been very special so far in this tournament, and you know, it seems like the team are feeding off his passion as well as the experience of what every single one of those players saw. To be honest with you, as a human being, the fact that the Danish players came out and played that game and you know, they lost that game. I love that you guys made it to the knockout phase. And the fact that these other players are stepping up and you can see they're not only playing for Eriksen, they're playing for their country, but they're playing for each other.
Yeah.
He can make a big difference, can't he, tomorrow night?
He can. Yusuf is pretty much the best number 9 that we have. He's someone who, you know, I think a thing that has defined the Danish national team at this tournament is the way that we press, and Mikkel Damsgaard is a very important part of that, but Yusuf Poulsen is as well. He is someone who maybe on a technical level he lacks a bit, but he makes up for that in passion and running and just importance to the team. I think he's very, very important to the team.
Yeah, for sure. We have a question here, and someone asked you about Arteta, but you're not Arteta out. You're Daniel, because I wanted to make sure I got that in. Daniel Anderson, Christian, are you Arteta in or out? Christian said earlier that he believes in Arteta and he'll support him as well. And then a lot of people talking about togetherness in adversity. Even if people weren't supporting the team, Christian, are you finding that people who weren't even maybe engaged in the tournament after what happened to Eriksen, that they're rooting for their country? Is that happening in Denmark right now?
Absolutely. It was a moment that truly shocked Denmark in a way that I've never seen anything like it. And I really believe that a lot of people who wouldn't be invested in the team, they now, you know, everywhere you go in Denmark, you see people in wearing the Danish national shirts. You see flags everywhere. We have our high school graduates driving around town. It's a Danish tradition, but they all have. We don't care about anything as long as Christian Eriksen is stable. They have their own big flags outside of the buses they drive around, and there's such a sense of togetherness. And you know, whatever happens this tournament, that is something no one can ever take away from us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, when we were exchanging messages, you sent me something and we had this connection because nobody gave Denmark. Denmark ended up in Euro 92 by default. And in 2004, my country, Greece, weren't given a chance by anybody. And even when they won it, everyone was saying, oh, anti-football, yet they beat Portugal twice, France, the Czech Republic, all these great teams.
Yeah.
Is there a narrative that has been going on in Denmark about you? You mentioned to me, you said, Sophie, I'm feeling those 92 vibes. Talk me through that a little bit.
You know, I think as well as in terms of the Greece triumph in 2004, you know, defenses win championships, and the defensive side of the Danish national team is really, really good this year, as it was in 92. The way that the way that Denmark won the championship in 92 was built on organization and a good defense. And another reason I wrote that to you is because, you know, Christian Eriksen is the best player on the Danish national team. I think that's pretty well known. But
yes.
in 92, we also missed our best player, Mark Laudrup, who was a huge star for Barcelona, who didn't play in that 92 tournament. So I think there are a lot of similarities, and I believe that not a lot of Danish people will think about it, or maybe dare dare to believe in it. But you know, why not us? Why not Denmark?
Yeah, why not you? And Wales, I don't think are as strong as they were in the last Euros. I mean, Gareth Bale and yes, Aaron Ramsey, they can do something special in a second. But we've also seen now the Danish team, even if a player like Christensen can score a goal like that, but also, Poulsen and Damsgaard as well. There's a lot of players on the pitch that can be game changers too. So what chance are the Danish pundits and media, the Jensens of the world, what chance are they giving the team against this Wales squad tomorrow, Christian?
I think it's generally pretty good. I think most of them fancy Denmark to go through. We have a lot of respect for Wales. I think also Dan James deserves a mention. Actually, he has performed very well for Wales. But man for man, I think Denmark has a stronger team. I think especially Pierre-Emil Højbjerg. I know he's a Tottenham player. I'm sorry, but he has been phenomenal. He's been one of the best performers of the whole championship, in my opinion. I think that the belief and the momentum that Denmark have now can carry them through a lot, and I think it'll carry them through with the game against Wales.
I wanted to put this message up for you before I let you go in a few minutes from Henrik. People are watching the game at stadiums around the country with large screens in is it Aarhus?
Yeah. Aarhus.
They had 9,000 people at the local stadium watching the games. What's the plan for tomorrow? I'm assuming more of the same. Open forums, lots of different cities. Everyone's going to be watching this game tomorrow.
Exactly, and I live in a small community with around 2,500 people, and even there they've put up big screens so that people can watch it. I mean, it will be absolutely crazy, and I don't think there'll be a lot of people in Denmark not watching the game tomorrow. I've even heard that different concerts that are being arranged tomorrow, they'll have breaks so that people can watch the game, and then they'll start the concert afterwards again. I mean, it's a very big deal.
Well, listen, I hope you're going to be celebrating, and this is probably one of my favorite comments so far of the night, and aside from Henrik and a couple of other Danes who've jumped in, which has been lovely to see. A Greek and a Dane banging on about winning the Euros. Why don't you make us feel bad? Yes. So good, isn't it? I mean, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Greece aren't in it this year, but like you said, why not Denmark? Absolutely, why not Denmark? And what's your prediction for tomorrow?
I actually believe that Denmark will win 3-1. I can't really tell you why, but that's just my gut feeling. I think that Wales won't cope well with the way Denmark press. I think that'll lead to some goals for Denmark.
How far do you think you'll go in the competition? I mean, I know we say, like, why not Denmark? After this game, your prediction's right. You beat Wales. You move to the next phase. I believe there's a potential semi-final date with England, right? If you continue going down the line. So what's your take on how far you think you can go?
Before the championship, I actually thought that the quarterfinal would be realistic. Now that I've seen the draw and the potential teams that we can meet, I can actually see Denmark going to the final. Because I think if we beat Wales, then it's either the Netherlands or the Czech Republic, both teams that Denmark can beat on their day. When you get to a semi-final, everything can happen. I mean, the Danish team in '92, they beat the Netherlands in the semi-final.
Yeah.
They played, the Netherlands at that time had Dennis Bergkamp, Marco van Basten, Frank Rijkaard, much better players than Denmark had. But that didn't stop Denmark from winning.
No. And sometimes, Christian, destiny can be anything. And after what happened in that first week of the Euros and what we witnessed, what a miracle that Christian Eriksen is still with us. And now when you're playing that way with nothing to lose and everything to gain, there's something kind of magical and mystical about that. And it feels like you guys are so connected as a team. And I have to say again, I'm rooting for you tomorrow night, and I really do hope that you win. And riding on that wave has a lot to do with where you could end up in this competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a good feeling.
Well, look, thank you so much for joining me. I know, like, you're in your car, you're on your way back from the Arsenal Denmark meeting. Please send our best wishes to everyone at Arsenal Denmark. And we're going to get you back on during next season. If you're cool with that, we'll tap in and chat often during the Arsenal season. Let's keep up to speed with what's happening with the Arsenal community in Denmark as well. And hopefully tomorrow, when you're playing and someone scores, wifey and pregnant baby and the little one are right next to you, so you can really give it some welly, as we say.
That wouldn't be too bad, though.
No, it wouldn't be too bad at all. Christian, tell everyone where they can find you, because we have a great community here on the Highbury squad, and let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Sure. At Stenrøjl. I have a very troublesome last name, I know. But and I'll try to do some updates in English instead of Danish then.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we'll share when we repost the show as well, we'll share your contact as well again. And thanks again for joining. Good luck tomorrow night. Enjoy the game. Have fun. And everyone is saying in chat, do not shave your beard, like ever, ever, ever. That's the advice from the squaddies in chat tonight.
I've had it for 8 years, so I might as well just keep it forever now.
Okay,
thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Christian. Take care. Happy Friday. Good luck tomorrow.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That is Christian from Arsenal Denmark, also looking forward to seeing his country play against the Welsh tomorrow night, you guys. Come on. Who isn't rooting for Wales? If your country's not in this competition, you should be rooting for Wales after that experience and what those players had to go through and see, to be able to battle on and keep going and fight for their teammate, and also to still perform for their nation is quite an incredible thing. What a top guy he is. Absolutely, Matty K and Mark. And they all do speak. My Danish is useless. This is what I always love about talking to people from around the world. Sometimes we English are pompous about stuff like that, but just the way people can articulate themselves is in a second language is unbelievable. And Christian is a top shelf guy, and they're doing really good things out there with Arsenal Denmark and connected to the club in many, many ways. And hearing Tony Adams and Jensen doing events together out there too, it shows you the depth and breadth of Arsenal Football Club, you guys. This is why I always say, do not mistake being a shit Premier League team for still being a top club. We have millions of fans around this world, and the Arsenal will rise again in the Premier League. I can absolutely guarantee it. But this is going to be a shorty for tonight, unless you guys have anything else for me. That's pretty much it. It's been a great week. Thanks to Christian. Thanks to Tom Canton as well from the Gooner Talk TV. If you missed that, we had a great conversation yesterday. Bit of an update on some transfer talk. We dug a little deeper and had a really good conversation about the Arsenal and some of our business this summer. If you missed Kevin, you can catch the show that we did earlier in the week as well. I adore you guys. You're the best. Couldn't do this show without you. And I love your positivity too. And I really appreciate you. We're going to have some top shelf stuff next week as well. Some great guests coming on. We're also going to cover the Arsenal women's story about them closing down the development centre for a lot of young players. So we're going to have a top journalist coming on to talk about that, who covers the women's game. And hopefully we'll be able to reschedule Curtis Shaw, who've been trying to get on the show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this week. Hoping we're going to be able to do that next week. Super Kev is going to be back as well. And lots of other good stuff. Hit the like button for the Greek chick. I like that a lot, Don Juan. Thank you so much. You guys have a fantastic weekend. 5 minutes of questions. What kind of questions? Throw them out real quick. Apparently, okay, do you guys want to know the real stuff that's going on here? I'm having work done in my bathroom, and I just got a message from my partner saying, I'll read it to you guys. Let's see what it says. Here we go. You want real stuff, real life stuff? Big problem. Lots of noise needed. Purple bathroom totally broken. Can't install new toilet until they chip away some broken cast iron. Oh my gosh. What do we do? Well, what do we do, guys? I guess we're going to have to chip it away, aren't we? Which means drilling, which means I've got to go, basically. But I will answer a couple of quick questions for you. How about that? Smash the like button for the Greek plate, Purple Rain. I know, 300 girls. We're going to be talking about it in depth next week. Don't you worry about it. We're going to cover. It was a lovey-dovey message to deliver bad news. Yeah. Oh, bugger, Matty K. That means extra, extra. You know what? I know. Right. That's it. I'm going to let you go. I love you guys. And you know that. You squaddies are epic. I'll be back on Monday for more. Monday Madness will kick off with that. And let me give you some other news here real quick. No, actually, we didn't sign Jack Grealish. He's signing with someone else. That's not happening at all. But I am going to have Susie Rack from Guardian Sport on to talk about the Arsenal women's team too. So we'll be doing that. No worries. Love Mondays. Love you guys. In the meantime, enjoy the football this weekend. Stay safe. Stay cool. No matter where you are in the world, remember, be kind, be nice. And it's always up the Gunners. Oh, without Kev, salute the squaddies.